Advantage Media for us was a really integral part of us scaling to 1 million and then beyond 1 million turnover in a year. When we started, I was in a spare bedroom at home, 1 employee, and then now 3 years later, we're 11 employees in our own warehouse, turning over £1 million a year. And without Advantage Media's support throughout that journey, there's no way we would be where we are now. Hi, I'm Clara from the Muzzle Movement, and we've worked with Advantage Media for 3 years. The Muzzle Movement is a company that not only sells muzzles, but we educate the public around muzzled dogs and their guardians. We didn't run ads for a little while, so we had sort of 18 months of organic growth before we started doing ads. But we felt like we were in a position where we were able to scale again. So our manufacturing operations were streamlined enough for us to be able to sell more. And when we felt like we were ready to sell more, the next logical step was ads. The results for ads were pretty instant. We were sort of a bit unable to tell initially because there was Black Friday and Christmas, but as soon as we got into the new year, we could really tell the impact that ads were having, particularly because they're supposed to be your quieter months, and for us, they were the same as, when we had the XL Bully Ban, which is the busiest time we've ever had. So yeah, made a really big difference. Having the ability to control how much money you make every month, and knowing if you have more capacity one month, you can scale your ads and have more income, means that we're able to sort of plan the rest of the year with bigger goals. It's always really nice when you see that your turnover is going up. The more money that we have to play with, the less stress it puts on the team, the more flexibility we have to do new projects and take on new sizes in our case. So it means we've got a bit more control over the things that we've got coming up over the next few months. What I also like is being able to, if we have a month where we're expecting to spend more, being able to control how much revenue we have that month by increasing our ad spend, which allows us to do bigger projects in the month that we want to. So we've been running ads for the last 6 months, and in total we've spent £11,000, and that's generated £160,000 in return. So that's over 10 times, over 13 times the amount of money that we spent that we've got back. Would we ever go back to not running ads? Absolutely not. I think that we were doing it the hard way in the beginning, sort of with this organic growth, which was great, but it did mean that we were dictated by external influences. Whereas now with running ads, we're able to kind of control how much money we have available every month. So if we have expensive stuff coming up, we can spend more on ads, and we know that that will generate more income, which is really important when you're a business that has lots of projects happening all at the same time. For us as a business, it's really important that we have easy ways for customers to buy. And Advantage Media helped us develop a sizing quiz that meant that it made it easier for customers to find their size, and from there, conversion rates increased. Yeah, Advantage have been really helpful. They are always available when I need a hand, which is quite often irregular times, to be fair. So yeah, they're really, really responsive to emails. I can call them if I need any help. If we get stuck with anything, or if we have a disaster and we need help quickly, yeah, we know that they're reliable. I feel like Advantage Media have been invested in our brand since when we were even really small. I think they've been a really important part of how we've been able to scale to where we are. Having the support on hand when you need it means that we've been able to make pretty quick decisions and act quickly on external things that are happening. So the Muzzle Movement, our main motivation is really to support the public. So yes, we sell muzzles, but we also want to make sure that the public know more about muzzled dogs, and we're changing their perception. And Advantage Media have understood that from the very beginning, and they've been able to tailor their support in a way that allows us to be able to target the people we want to without being a really heavy salesy, really pushy, which is something that we didn't want to do. We wanted it to be authentic and natural and educational, and they've supported us with that the whole time. I think my biggest bit of advice would be find an agency that you trust. So an agency that feels like they understand your brand, a lot like Advantage have with us, and just do it. I think that you really don't know the benefit that an agency like Advantage can have until you invite them in and let them get to know your business and see the recommendations that they make, because they've recommended stuff to us that we would never have thought of on our own, and that's been really helpful. We wouldn't have been able to scale to where we are without some of the tools that they've sort of provided us with. My background is not in e-commerce or business. I actually don't have much experience in this space, so being able to rely on somebody who does have experience in this space and being able to ask questions for things I'm not sure about, like I'd never built a website before, I'd never done an email flow, I definitely never had any knowledge about how ads worked. So being able to outsource that stuff to experts and then them give you such detailed reports on what's been done and how it's working is really helpful. Advantage Media for us, in our scenario where we've got quite a lot of different team members, they're able to work with everybody in the team. So they work a bit with marketing, a bit with some of the girls that are taking the photos, social media even. And it kind of feels like Advantage is an extension of our team. So even though they're not here with us, we can rely on them as much as we can rely on other members of the team that are physically here. So far this year, our return on ad spend has been 1,700%, which means for every £1,000 we spend, we get £17,000 back. I think in our case, the reason that we've seen results like we have is because we haven't just had support with running ads, which has made a big impact, but it's also the impact that Advantage Media have had on our customer, the customer experience. Things like the experience the customer has when they visit the website, or we had a lot of support with optimizing the layout of our website so it was easier to navigate, or the checkout process, making sure all the information that the customer needed was there and ready. And then the post-purchase stuff, so post-purchase flows, getting repeat customers. It's all added together to create really good results for us and our team. We've worked with Advantage since we began, really, which was 2022, and we're in 2025. At the beginning, the amount of money that we had to for support was limited. So really, it was just the little bits that we could afford at the time, like making email flows or even helping us understand how to segment customers, because we'd never done any of that before. And then gradually, as our business grew, we were able to invest more, and Advantage Media became a bit more of an integral part of what we do. And then we were able to launch ads, which now we couldn't live without. So Advantage Media are here to stay.